Welcome to the Latin Wealth Podcast, a podcast dedicated to educating the Latino community about entrepreneurship, investing, and business.
Yo, what's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome to another episode to the Latin Wealth Podcast. As you can see, we got a former guest on the podcast. Super excited about today's episode because we're collaborating on something super dope for our Latino community, right? So we're going to be jumping into that. I got my main man, KG from COSIGN. How you feeling, man? How you doing?
Feeling good. How about yourself, Chris?
Man,
back for round two.
Yes, sir.
Another one.
Yeah, it's actually been a minute since we recorded, so glad that, we're doing this.
It has, man. I had to take a break from, dropping 30 on you in basketball so that we could focus on providing financial literacy. This is where to go? All right. No, for sure, though. But glad that we're doing this together. The reason why we wanted to come on here is because we're collaborating on an event out here in Dallas called the Latin Wealth Summit, October 12th to 13th. And really, I just wanted to come together and talk to the people on what our vision is, why we're collaborating, and what we hope to accomplish with this event. For sure, man. I know especially from us at COSIGN, La Vida COSIGN, we're super excited about this. The Latino community in Dallas is huge, so I feel like, collaborating with you, which is another platform that I respect, been on the platform, I watched the platform, I love what you guys stand for, so the collaboration makes sense. I'm not sure how you guys feel, but you can't collaborate with everybody, right? Not everybody shares the same values, wants to provide the same impact, so this was a no-brainer for us because, like I said earlier, man, we know what you stand for and rock with that. 100%.
And I like that you said that, because even on my side, we've never put on an event, in-person event before. So same thing, I'm looking at who has done it before at a high level. And COSIGN, they're doing it all the time. You guys are always doing events. You guys are going to have an event right after Latin Wealth Summit. So for me, it was easy to, hit you up, making sure you're on the same page, and yeah.
Nah, for sure. So let me ask you this. So since we're having a conversation, so you approached me with the idea of doing, an event for Latinos, right? Mm-hmm. So why do you feel like it's important for us to do this event that we can dive deeper into it?
Yeah. So for me, I think the reason why it's important is because number one, I feel like representation is important. And I think it's important for our people to see other successful Latinos doing what they want to do at a high level, whatever that is, whether it's investing, real estate, business owner, entrepreneurship. I think that's important. And getting people in the same room to network and to see these people, to interact with these people, I think it makes it more of a reality for people for them to obtain it for themselves.
No, that's real. You said something about representation matters, which is important to me as well. Our team is filled of different ethnicities. I would say I'm Panamanian. Yeah. My CMO is Dominican. Yeah. Our operations, she's Black and Puerto Rican. Our chief creative officer, La Vida COSIGN, is Mexican. So one thing being in Texas, I realized though is that it's a huge Latin community, but it's predominantly Mexicans, right? Sure. But there are other people here. It's just where are they at during the day? What kind of events do they go to? And I kind of wanted to collaborate on you with this to showcase too that Latinos look very different. You know what I'm saying? They all don't look the same, came from the same backgrounds. There's a lot of different Latinos that are in, the world, but specifically in Dallas, and to bring that together. For example, some of the speakers we have are Afro-Latinos, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, I don't know if there's any Colombians or Venezuelans, but it just shows a variety, and I definitely want to showcase that in Dallas. That's
important to me too, because with all due respect, there's other events out there, there's other summits, and you see the lineup, and everybody looks fairly the same. Facts. You know what I'm saying? But when you come to the Latin Wealth Summit, we wanted to show everybody, right? The different cultures, different colors, everybody. So that was important for me too.
Facts, man. And it is Hispanic Heritage Month, so I'll say this, and I hope I don't cause any drama on your platform.
No, talk about it.
But
man.
I've seen different commercials or campaigns and promotions specifically in Texas for like Hispanic Heritage Month, and they still only focus like on like Tejanos or people that look the same. And it's like, man, it's like, I get it. You're trying to do a better job, but they're still like kind of missing it.
You're
right?
missing.
You know
You're missing a lot of people.
There's a whole lot of people, and it's like we all look differently, but we're still identified Latinos, right? So I think doing stuff like this and like letting corporations know that, hey, you don't have to specifically talk to one type of Latino that looks like this, right? There's a whole community of us out here, and you should like make sure that you represent all of us, especially when people try to do multicultural or diversity. Well, there's also multicultural diversity within like a genre of people. So they have to be like cognizant of that when they start to do marketing and campaigns, because you do miss out on like a certain demo when you do that, and people don't feel like they're being seen.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. And so let me ask you this. Once we get everybody in the room, we got the speakers on stage, we got things happening, moving. When you take a step back, and even afterwards, when you look at like what we're about to accomplish, what do you hope is the goal? What do you want people to walk away with? And, you know, what would feel like a win to you after the event?
I think I mentioned this before, but I feel like if somebody came and found their community, found their tribe, and felt like this was home, that's a win. One, entrepreneurship is lonely. You know what I'm saying? Two, if you don't have a community or a tribe that you can relate to, it also can make just life in general lonely. So not only do I want people to retain information that could better their personal lives and their business life, but I want them to find a community, right? So when you leave here, you have people you can, refer back to for advice, or if you may be in New York or Houston, you have somebody you can reach out to that, that are you on the same page or identify with the same things, cultural, business, personal, etc., and that, you leave with like a sense of family. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll be a win. And then last but not least, when I look back and see the people that attend, that people that came to not only support their culture, but to support Latinos and to learn, it'd be like, I want to make my mom proud, right? My mom does Latin COSIGN for the Panamanian community. Like, she teaches like typical dancing, folklorico. She teaches the kids, so she really tries to keep the culture alive in COSIGN. And then she also makes sure like the kids travel and they get to dance to other countries. So like seeing that from a small perspective, what she's doing in COSIGN, and being able to hopefully do it on a larger perspective, starting with the Latin Wealth Summit, would make her proud, and that'll be a win for me.
Yeah, that's what's up. For me, it's funny because, I've said to you, this is the first event that we've done. So some of it I'm kind of naive. I'm going into it like, basically, I just want it to be the best event possible. Right. If we're going to do it, let's go all in and make it the best experience possible for people. And you brought it up in the beginning, man, I'm competitive. You know what I'm saying? I want to drop 30 on other people. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, for real.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, and I mean, I love that you said, like, the value, the community. I want people to walk in. I want them to feel loved, welcome. And I want that to be ingrained in the DNA of whenever we come together and host this event. This is what it's about. Even if we have volunteers or people working, like, they have to know what the DNA of Latin Wealth Summit's about.
I like that. That's super important, because you can have one person that could turn somebody off completely from wanting to attend support in the future. So like everybody has to be on page, like you said, from the volunteers to the staff to the media to what we put out. Like everybody has to be on the same page and want the same things.
100%. So what else, man? What else do you want to jump into? The event's October 12th to 13th. Tickets are on sale right now. If you're listening to this, we'll drop the link in the description of this podcast and the description of the YouTube video as well. But what else, man? What else you want to talk to the people about?
Man, so we do this program every April, Correlations with Money, right? And we started it because everybody's relationships with money is different, right? So growing up in, your household, what was like your family's relationship with money, and how did that kind of affect you when you became an adult?
No, that's a great question. So for me, my relationship with money growing up was not the best. I didn't have the best example of it. And it's just the concept around money, it was almost like this thing, this unattainable thing that would just hang over our family for so long. And I didn't know what wealth or what wealth meant or being rich meant. I didn't know what any of those terms meant until I got older. And I think ultimately it's on us to make that decision to keep that mindset of like, okay, I have a bad relationship with money, or we shift it. We learn, educate ourselves, and we get poured back into other people. So for me growing up, it wasn't the best, but it's not an excuse.
Yeah, no, I could relate. So like my parents grew up paying everything cash, so they didn't really like establish credit. So like they passed it on to me. So like growing up, I thought credit was like, credit and debt was a negative thing, right? Like I didn't want credit cards, I didn't want any debt. But now that I'm an entrepreneur, I understand that debt can be leveraged to build something, right? So it's really just how you use that credit or debt. But it took me so long to understand that I wish if I would have learned that earlier, I would have been a lot further along. But everything happens for a reason. Another thing too is like money is like a taboo thing. Like you don't really talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know if it has a lot to do with like pride, ego, or what, but people don't really talk about money. And it's scary because when you get older, and if you don't feel comfortable talking about money, you can put yourself in like horrible positions, right? Like if you're literally, broke and you don't have any money, but you're trying to like portray a certain lifestyle, right? And then you have a partner, and you're not telling your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, whatever, you're not telling them where you're at, and then you're just continue to struggle because you're making these bad money habits, these bad investments, and don't allow somebody to come in and help you. That's that's a lot of stuff what happens too. Like people won't talk about money, they won't share it within their families. Next thing you look up, then somebody's a couple months behind on their mortgage, on their car, when they could have at least asked for help or told somebody, and they could have probably helped them along the way. Yeah,
man, you said it. I think a lot of it is ego. You know what I'm saying? The pride they're trying to put on a front for people. They want to make people seem like they got it and it's all taken care of. And I think, especially Latinos, like sometimes we have a hard time with reaching out and asking for help. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to, and when you mix in finances with that, business, it's even more difficult.
Yeah, man. Like my mom, I hate my mom does this. My mom, I think it's called, I don't know what they call it like in different like cultures, but like in Panama, it's called like a susu. You know what that means? So it's like, they call it different things in America. So it's like, okay, there's 3 of us in the studio right now, right? So it's like this month I'm gonna put in 300, you put in 300, you put in 300, and one of us gets it that month, right? So one of us
whoever needs it.
Yeah, whoever needs it, and then you take turns every month. I'm like, I get it, that's cool, but that's not like investing, right? Yeah. You can't even save your way to wealth. Right?
You can't. And that's how, to me, with that point, like something goes wrong between the 3 of us, that's how you destroy trust. And now that goes back to your relationship with money. Now you don't trust people handling your money. Now you don't want to invest because you think if I give this person my money, they're going to do something bad with it.
Yeah, man, it's tough. So in the social media video we did before filming, you mentioned that you would invest in ETFs and crypto. How did you get into those type of investments, right? Especially like if you weren't taught that growing up.
I mean, look, I think it goes back to it's on me, right? If it's not me, then who? If it's not right now, then when? Right? I can't rely on, with all due respect, my little nieces, nephews to be financially literate because I don't know if they're going to have that mindset. I don't know if they're going to have the same mindset as me. So it's on me to educate myself and put myself and my family in position to where they could have options, right? I think that's big for me is we talk about generational wealth and whatnot, but I want my family to have generational options. I want them to have the options to do what they want in life. So if they want to invest here, if they want to go to college, that's cool. But to bring it back, it really just comes down to education and surrounding myself with the right people that have the information I want and to learn from them. Like, they know my guy, Jeremiah, he's on the Wealth Wednesday show. Like, he comes on talking wealth every Wednesday, and it's somebody I learned from. So educating myself, surrounding myself with the right people, and just know building wealth takes time.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because ETFs it could be a slow game, and some of these crypto meme coins could be a quick flip, and that's how you can get yourself in trouble.
Right.
So that's why I bring that up.
So let me ask you this, similar to that question, right? It's something I've been practicing a couple of years now, and something I try to put like my people on, team, friends. for you personally, or no, look, for your business, right? Let's do personal, actually. Talk about personal finances. For your personal, right? How do you break down like every $1,000? So for like example, to give you an idea, right? Like for me, anytime I touch money, so like let's say I close a deal for $1,000, right? It's a low deal. But let's say I close a deal for $1,000, right? I'm immediately putting $200 in my Fidelity account, right? Before I even pay anything off, right? Using like the profit first. I don't know if that's the same percentage, but I just take 220%, and I put that into my Fidelity investment account, right? Then I'm left with 80%. From that 80%, I'll basically pay out what I need to, which is like 50%. So I'm left with 300, and that 300, I'm free to do whatever I want. I typically try to use that 300 either for like personal stuff, or I use that 300 more for like, okay, to get out of debt, right? So I'll pay extra like on a credit card or something like that. How do you kind of break down the money you receive in?
No, I like that. The first step for you is similar to myself is paying myself as well. So anywhere from 15 to 20%. And then for me, the next step is taxes. I
gotta do that.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know how that goes, man. Like when it comes to business and whatnot, like taxes, put that away. Just don't even think about it. And then expenses. If I need to pay anybody, if that deal was $1,000 and maybe I brought in somebody else to help me with that or edit or whatever the case is, make sure they get their piece. And then, the rest, whatever is kind of left, then I'm putting it back into the business.
No, I like that too. I like that we're on the same page, man. Because for a long time, I wasn't paying myself first. Like, if I had $1,000 and let's say my expense on that $1,000 was $400, I'm left with $600. Then I'm using that $600 to, pay other expenses, and then whatever left, I'm paying myself. If you wait till whatever is left to pay yourself, you're never going to pay yourself. So I definitely like the profit first. Like I immediately, so like now I'm knowing 20%. Like even if it's a 10K deal, then it's really an 8K deal. That 2,000 is going to investments. Like I said, my Roth IRA account, and then the other 8,000 is how I break down. Saying okay, if I got to pay a contractor, et cetera, et cetera. So. And
I think that's a very important mindset to have, because some people, when they see the 10K or $1,000, they think that's all for me, and we just gonna go crazy, and they're not considering everything else, right? So. A lot of people have that mindset where like they spend it before they have it. So they know it's coming and it's already spent, things they want to buy and whatnot. But we try to have the mindset of like, okay, we want to break it down, taxes, paying ourselves first, or expenses, team members, whatever,
No, that's definitely good to hear. Another thing I wish I would have known a long time ago, which, I'm trying to pass down that message is, to whoever needs it, whether it's my team, my daughter. Same thing with taxes. That's a big one too. And there's another one. Just slipped my mind.
Okay, that's a good question. We can start wrapping it, but if you can go back in time, 21-year-old KG, you're like a whole list of advice. I already know what you're gonna have. You know what I'm saying? What would one thing you would tell KG, 21-year-old, investment, finances related? There's a lot of things you can tell him. There's a lot of things I can tell my 21-year-old self. What would you advise him to do?
First, if I can't buy it 2 to 3 times over, I shouldn't buy it. All right. At 21, like I said, I didn't have a lot of money growing up with my family. We were like okay, and my mom figured it out. But then to be able to have some money at 21, and I'm an adult, I was just blowing money, bro. Like just doing like the stupidest things. So like I would honestly say if I can't buy it, kind of like how they do with rent. Like if you should be able to pay rent 3 times. That's how you can afford it. I would apply that same thing into like any purchases that I would make. Also, I would realize that I'm not gonna be 21 forever, right? So back then, my methodology was, okay, I'm young. You know what I'm saying? I can get it back. Or if I spend it, it's okay. I can make it back, right? Yeah, you probably can, but it doesn't mean it's also always at the same speed that you got it the first time, right? So let's say it took me 4 years to make 100K and I blew that 100K. It doesn't mean it's going to take me, it might take me 4 or 2. It might take me 8 because now, inflation, now I have a kid, other things in life's going on. So I would definitely know that, like, I can't base on everything on, I can get it back. And I feel that's what the youth does, right? They're like, I can make that money back. You know what I'm saying? It's only money. But money is freedom. You know what I'm saying? So you got to respect money. You just can't abuse money. You got to let your money work for you. And the last thing, which when I used to work corporate America, they used to always tell me, we price match. So not price match, but we, what is it? They match your 401k.
Yeah.
So like if I put
it's like if they put in 4%, you can put in 4%, they'll match it.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. I mean, yeah.
And I would do it sometimes, and then some jobs I would like, I don't need it. Like, I can make that money work faster for me if I have it, right? Man, if I would have really just kept putting money in at 21 to where I'm at now, bro, like I would have a lot more than I have right now, bro. But we think we're unstoppable, right? We think, we can do whatever, and sometimes we can, but a lot of times you got to plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say like, I'm not going to put money in my 401k because I'm going to make that work for me. How are you going to make that work for you? How much are you going to use? Yeah. What's your strategy? What's the KPIs? And I didn't think like that. I'm like, I can make 100K with no strategy. So I'm not going to put money into my 401k. And that was a missed opportunity. Yeah, the market hit, but it would have bounced back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So definitely, I would definitely invest. If you're working in corporate America, man, if they do any type of matching, please contribute as much as you can to where they match that. Please do that. Please just be cognizant of your spending habits, man. Like, we're in the social media era right now where like everybody does stuff for the gram or just to make somebody happy, but you really have to be selfish before you can help anybody else. And like, you have to take care of yourself. If you're not financially stable, if you don't have an apartment, if you're not comfortable, how can you help support somebody else or bring somebody into what you have going on? So definitely take care of yourself.
You said
what would you say, bro?
Man, you said a lot there, man. So for me, if I was 21, I'd be like, yo, you're gonna make mistakes, and that's fine. I want you to make mistakes, but just put some money aside. Bitcoin, you know what I'm saying? Hop on this, something like that. Just put money aside and in an investment account, ETF, something like that. Leave it there, let it grow. When you're 30, this is where you could be at, and just leave it there. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna take risks. That's cool. But just I would say tuck away some more money, like in some type of investment account or crypto or something like that.
That's a good thing about jobs for entrepreneurs. Good things about jobs is that you could have them like automatically transfer that money so you don't even see it. Yeah. So, as entrepreneurs, we need to be a little more disciplined. That's why I say no matter what, 20%, I already have that in my head. So even if I'm doing a contract, I'm like, okay, this contract is 10K. It's really an 8K contract. You know what I'm saying? And we have to think like that, because if we don't, we're going to be working just to work, right? And have nothing to show for it. And that's not how life is supposed to be lived. So.
Right, 100%. And that's one of the reasons why we're putting on this event, to give y'all information, to give y'all resources and tools, relationships, to get in the room, be around people that are doing it at a high level, and being around other people that are looking to do it at a high level, right? So look, we can go a lot more deeper into this conversation, but we just wanted to come on here and talk about why we're collaborating, talk about the event, and just share some of our personal experiences around finances. Anything else, bro?
No, I think you hit on the head, Chris. Make sure y'all definitely come to Latin Wealth Summit. Go to LatinWealthSummit.com. Latin Wealth Podcast. Latin Wealth was just the handle.
Yep.
Latin Wealth La Vida COSIGN. And for more information, like we said, we want to provide value, impact, but also build community. Help you find your tribe, right? I have friends to where we talk about money, finances, and growth. And if you don't have friends that are comfortable talking about those subjects with you, man, then definitely come to Latin Wealth Summit. And there's definitely a community here that'll be open to talk about that with you, help you, and guide you along the way.
Yeah, you need some new friends.
Definitely need some new friends.
You feel me? All right. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.